Oh my god. This is what happens when I first wake up.
Yes, starting. Oh right, yeah. This is very early for you. My bad.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I was already up when you sent the message.
Great.
Hello and welcome to Human Insects. I'm Hazel.
And I'm Nicky. Hi. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
2023.
We're bouncing straight back from just a very strange little way to end the year.
Yeah. Our
for those who maybe are jumping in on this one. Yeah, we accidentally recorded a 7-hour end of the year podcast, so
yeah,
I'm looking forward to having just a nice, easy little time.
Yeah,
just easy peasy, nothing weird, nothing nutty. Just a normal episode.
just a normal, nothing happens episode of this is a. If we could do a recap episode, this is basically it. Or a recap episode. Like just
yeah, this is our bathhouse episode.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm just I'm with like a bunch of old guys. And like
the hot springs monkey.
Yeah, right. Yes, I am the hot springs monkey. That's me. Yeah, I got like a little towel.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
You've got like the mandarin on your head.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about what's going on.
Yeah. I didn't want to go too far on that. I was like, I'm gonna let you gauge how comfortable you are with this bit.
No, it's good. So yeah, we're just gonna chill and finally get caught up on questions.
Yeah.
Nikki, one of our questions that came in recently was like, I don't know if you guys are still taking these, but ... I felt very bad. Our schedule just makes it difficult, right? Like when we have guests more or less every other episode.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna answer questions with them. Or at least not very many, doesn't leave much room for them in those episodes. And then we jump back to our normal episodes. And
then we have a lot that we want to talk about just in
yeah, exactly. Because it's been a month since we've last been able to talk about it.
Yeah. So I guess that just kind of calls into like this is a so now there's what four genres of human insects episode.
Right.
Which is me and you bullshitting, doing bits, and I don't know, just reading funny tweets. A guest appears, and we have to take it seriously. Year-end episode where we begin to build and unspool like just mountains of lore and weird fucking conceptual bullshit, and mailbag episode because we're lazy, and it's a total sweatpants episode. Is just like it's just like whatever.
It's the perfect way to put
ramen
it.
For dinner episode.
Yeah. It's perfect.
Have you been like listening to anything though at the moment? Like
yeah. I have been listening to the self-titled EP from Calamine or Calamine. A lot on our friend Max's recommendation.
Right, yeah.
I think they found this band because they did the C Lab opening or ending. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah.
But the EP is like amazing. It's like just like a lot of really really tightly constructed, really fully realized like if you like that particular brand of like indie rock that has that kind of like what is the label? I think Saddle Creek is the label that has like Rilo Kiley. It was founded by the Bright Eyes guy or whatever.
Right, yeah.
That's that kind of sound. There's kind of like a house sound that's a little hard for me to articulate.
Yeah.
Like it's got this like kind of trace of like a twang to it. and there's a kind of like laid back approach to like how it's all presented and delivered, but the songs are like really well written. I guess is kind of how I would describe it. They're one of those bands that has a male and a female vocalist who trade off and who
love to see it
harmonize together a bunch. Always good. Every band is better for it.
That's always a good time, no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. So I've been really enjoying that one. Oh my god, I just woke up. I woke up and I got on in this call, dear listeners. So I ask that you excuse the state that I'm in.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hazel needs a cough drop.
I do. Yeah, the song in particular, Flicker, I think is really great. Trampoline as well is really fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm remembering to make a list of all the stuff we talked about.
Oh yeah, how good podcast etiquette, Hazel.
I still need to upload a paste bin of everything.
Oh yeah. We'll do that probably by the time this ever comes.
Yeah, definitely before the next one comes out. Yeah, or maybe I will put it in this one.
Could be, yeah, possibly.
To kind of like, because the whole reason I didn't want to put it in there was because I was like, oh, I'm a little worried about people just checking that out and then seeing and then certain things without context and then thinking like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with these people? How dare they, whatever over whatever.
Put Tactics Ogre and Doki say in the same spot.
Yeah, in the same spot. Yeah. Right.
That's my favorite choice we made.
Me too. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to force a little bit of context there, but I also want people to be able to have a clear cut list.
Yeah. I've been listening to honestly an absolutely stupid grab bag of different things. I've had really eclectic taste lately.
Yeah.
I think right after we recorded the last episode, I rediscovered the album Wanderlust by Perfect Piano Lesson, who is this Japanese like alt rock trio that used to be on Zonkyo Record, which is like
it's the label that the Cabs are on.
Yeah. That's the label that the Cabs were on. That's the label People in the Box started on. They just have this really energetic, like, just, I don't know, like, weird sort of like pop alt rock that like with like a singer that like genuinely like I don't think is for everybody, but I just really love it. And the first song on the record I think is like just one of my, I don't know, favorite, like I don't know, is this a really amazing song?
This has such good album art.
Yeah.
I really like this album art.
The first song has like these layered vocals like constantly throughout the entire thing, and it just rules so much. So yeah, I don't know, big recommend on that one. Their other work is like good, but like it like ranges from like way more math rocky to like
right
more poppy and stuff, whereas this one album is like a perfect synthesis of like I don't know, it's just like this weird like just sweet spot. And then other than that, I've been getting crazy recommendations from like, and I've followed this account for like a really long time, but like this week in general they've just been hitting me with this week in general they've just been hitting me with crits after crits with so it's the account Mathcore Index, and you know me, I love my complicated mathcore grindcore stuff, but this week they've been doing a lot of like very early 2000s, like mid 2000s, like throwback stuff, and so I was listening to the like to the first two, like or not the first two, yeah, the first two Ed Gein records, or Ed Gein records, which are really good. But the most insane one is the band by the name of An Isle Ate Her, which, you know, Annihilator. But and their album Phrenia, which is like, they only made one album. It's like one of those perfect, like, just you know, find out about a band, they only have one album, but it's like the most insane thing you've ever heard, and like they're just never ever gonna come back because the people that were in it ended up having like really lucrative hip hop careers, like in the
Whoa.
like, yeah, like both of them do like both of them were kind of ended up, like, it looks like they came out of that going into like 2010s like cloud rap type stuff, which is like just perfect. But like the live video that Mathcore Index posted of that band is just like one of the most like crystallized, like, holy fuck, like, flashback moments for me, because I was in not a band like this. I wish I was in a band like this, but I was in bands like around this time in high school playing local shows, and the video of that band playing that show was just so perfect, because it was like in this like weird outside amphitheater thing, probably attached to a church, you know, for all we know, and like the lead singer's in like fucking like skinny jeans and like fucking boat shoes or moccasins or whatever. It's like the perfect like 2008 like couture like like fucking, I don't know, just outfit for like a local band back then. And I just absolutely loved like seeing this video, because it's a band I'd never seen before, but it reminded me of so many shows I've been to before. And I don't know, I just absolutely loved it. And the album is like a weird predecessor to like some of the cyber grind stuff that was like happening. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just super like technical and like computer-y, even though it's just guitars that sound weird. And yeah, and also
I'm really into the fact that I'm reading the words Matt Cooper, aka Young Skirt, parentheses, drums.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like the other one is like Slug Lord or whatever is like their name. Slug Christ was like the singer of that band. And then also shout out to oh my god, I need to find the name of the band, because I'm pretty sure it's okay, Tower of Rome. The Tower of Rome clip that they also posted, where they were doing a show in like a classroom at like a public school somehow. Like I guess like this fucking high school just let people do a show there after hours. It's bizarre. But that video was fucking awesome also, and that album that Tower, because they also only have one album, of course, is also really good. But yeah, listen to that like for like a week, and then after that, fucking now I'm like on like an XTC discography run through. Like I've just been listening to a fuck ton of XTC.
Let's fucking go.
And yeah, particularly like finding new attachment to their records, English Settlement and The Big Express. I don't know, I just really like their later output, where they kind of, or their mid era, and like not mid eras in like mid but like, I mean, just the middle of their career, and then later they started getting a lot more conceptual. Like it was like right at the time where they stopped playing live at all ever, and then just became a studio band. And that stuff.
Skylarking was their first studio band record, right?
No, I actually think it was English Settlement, which was a few years earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like reading about it and stuff, and I think it's like really funny. It's like as soon as they stopped writing just pure rock songs, Like, you can tell when they became a studio band, because the album right before English Settlement is Black Sea, and that one has just like some bangers on it. And then English Settlement is like almost entirely acoustic and like layered and like all these different things. Skylarking was
but it's like acoustic in the same way that like the acoustic songs on like Skylarking are.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's
where it's a lot of really technical playing and like a lot of like chorus effects on that acoustic guitar. It has a very distinct sound to it that I think is really amazing.
It's the coolest shit ever, I think. Like, it's so cool. I found out that Todd Rundgren was like the engineer on Skylarking. And that was pretty wild. And then I found out another thing, which was that the original pressings of Skylarking had this like bug to them where they sounded flatter because like there was a wiring issue. And Todd Rundgren, like,
are you telling me that Todd Rundgren has fucked up like multiple recording sessions?
I am telling you absolutely that. Yes. Like
this is so fucked up.
And XTC like fucking hates him. and so now like I'm looking at that and then the 12 Rod situation. I'm like, maybe I hate Todd Rundgren.
but that dude made fucking
I know.
His solo career is amazing. I love that dude's solo shit. But hey, you know what? There are probably plenty of people that hear my solo work and then listen to the records for other people that I recorded and went, why does this sound fucking terrible by comparison?
Oh man,
I'll tell you why. It's because I recorded all that shit when I didn't know what I was doing.
but yeah, I was fucking I was like reading about the production of Skylarking, and I read that, and I was just like, "You're fucking like he had been doing this. He's just it was just like one of those like weird oversights that he just didn't see fit to like fix or whatever." And then like when asked about it, he's like adamant that never was the case, and people are lying and bullshitting him and stuff. It's like, okay,
maybe if not for the 12 Rods thing, I would be more inclined to believe it.
Right, yeah. But then the 12 Rods thing being like, oh yeah, he just showed up and just did not give a fuck about what was going on. And like,
I really need to listen to more XTC. I only first started listening to them last year.
Yeah.
I was in a band that's name was partially derived from Skylarking, and I only heard it for the first time last year.
Yeah.
What a hack I am.
I
especially owe it to myself because the duo who did the Azumanga Daioh openings and endings named themselves Oranges and Lemons.
There's another fucking Japanese act that there's a band called Seagulls Screaming Kiss Her Kiss Her.
I didn't know that was an XTC reference.
There is a song called exactly that on the Big Express.
God damn
and it's really cool. Yeah, but yeah,
there you go.
That's also an XTC pull. Yeah. If I made a third band, I would probably name it after something XTC related, honestly. I love XTC.
You would name it Saturday Morning Akira.
yeah. I'd name it after his sons. Animations.
You're gonna start a cloud rap project,
right?
And you're gonna name yourself Sluglord because that's not taken. And then your first record is gonna be called Newgrounds Boys.
But yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. I guess I have been listening to a lot.
Is that common knowledge? Is it common knowledge that the XTC dude's son is a Newgrounds animator?
Is Harry Partridge? Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not, then it is now. Like the guy that made Saturday Morning Watchmen. And other such animated works. That guy's the son. That guy is the titular pink thing that Andy Partridge is singing about on Oranges and Lemons.
Don't let your babies grow up to be YouTubers. Look at me.
That Oranges and Lemons is almost entirely about his baby and how much he loves his baby, and that is the fucking Newgrounds guy. Like, I just love that.
It's like how every time I listen to Vespertine by Bjork, I have to remind myself that she wasn't dating Goldie at the time, because the image of her singing about this beautiful boy and it being Goldie, it makes me like lose my mind. But no, it was just some fucking twink journalist or whatever, I think.
Damn.
Who cares?
But yeah, I don't know. What are some are there any 2022 things I feel like we missed? I feel like is that a question, by the way?
I don't think we got asked that as a question, but I mean, I have two things.
Yeah, I'm segueing into the movie we both watched, but also but also all the other stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I played through Queen Beast, which is a 100% free.
Ooh.
Really, really lavishly put together visual novel that you can play for free on any hardware you might have.
Fucking yes.
Just go out there and fucking play it.
Go get that.
I mean, any operating system. Yeah, if you like things like Record of the Lotus War and a lot of the kind of like PC 98 adventure game stuff that has that kind of fantasy setting, there'll be a lot there for you to get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the trailer is like one big reference to the what's the name of that? I think it's called like Revival of Evangelion, like that really long running doujinshi.
Oh yeah.
It's like really beloved. The trailer is like a reference to the trailer for that.
I love deep cuts like that.
yeah. Like it's a lot of love went into it. The prose is really amazing. I think that it is a much bigger game than you expect at any given point.
That rules.
I just think it's amazing, and I'm really trying to champion it because it has nudity in it and is not trying to be like overly coy about the sexuality that kind of orbits it.
Yeah, right.
It has been relegated to the 18 plus only section of Steam and of itch.
Yeah.
Which invariably hurts its visibility. So, because, you know, it's one of those things where people who are specifically going to the R18 section of Steam or itch are looking for something to, you know, to beat off to.
Yeah, right.
But you're not going to get that out of that game. That's, you know, that's not the utility that it was built for. So,
right.
It's kind of too not safe for work for the safe for work section, but like not enough to kind of find an audience within there.
Yeah.
So I'm doing what I can to spread the word, because I just think it's a really amazing passion project that I've come to really love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what this podcast is for, is that kind of thing, right? And stuff like that's just what we want to do.
Right. Yeah.
So I played dumb shitty poo poo fucking idiot Crisis Core on the other hand. That's what I fucking
hell yeah.
I kind of fucking love that game. I like both in the condescending way where like it's like the fact that they put this game out there again like this, basically unchanged except for the visuals from the PSP release, and then they're putting it side by side with the Final Fantasy VII Remake is insane to me, because now this game comes across even more than it did before. Like Kusoge. Like it's purely like it is insanity. Like the voice direction is totally like a throwback to like Kingdom Hearts spin-off era, like Final Fantasy 13 era, like voice direction, where it's like, oh, all these people talk like fucking aliens from outer space and stuff. Like, it's nowhere near where like where Final Fantasy 14 is right now, or 7 Remake, which is like 7 Remake is probably my favorite dub that Square has maybe ever made, because it's like actually super like natural sounding, even though they're all talking about like fantasy fucking proper nouns and stuff. Like, it's awesome. It's so good. Like, it actually, I don't know, it feels like what they've been wanting to do and stuff. And then you just see them actively like turning the clock back, and then you get to this and it's like fucking stupid and it sounds dumb, but like and like the new characters are complete fucking like farcical, like what the fuck is this type of stuff. But then also like the moment the game goes to Nibelheim, I'm not going to spoil the shit out of it, too bad, but if you know anything about Final Fantasy VII and you know about the Zack Fair stuff or whatever, you know that there's a Nibelheim section that basically mirrors the section from Final Fantasy VII, except with a bit extra context.
Right.
That stuff, I expected that to be like the weakest part of the game, was whenever it started to actually just do Final Fantasy VII stuff, but it was like way, way farther. Like, it feels like it turned into a different game, and I was like, whoa, hold on, I'm like really engaged and stuff, and like the voice acting like works better now, and it's like even the nonsense stuff is like kind of interesting texturally and stuff. Like, I think that game has themes that like I think it ultimately doesn't know what to do with, but it like, I don't know, it has some really fascinating shit that it's fucking pulling. And then by the ending, I actually was like tearing up. I was like, fuck, this game got me. It like managed to do me in, even though I have like just a laundry list of problems with it. It's like fucking, I don't know. It's a fucking weird mess. And even as a Final Fantasy 15 liker, this was directed by the same guy, Hajime Tabata. He also directed the third birthday in Final Fantasy Type 0. And now I feel a little bit more compelled to play those, because now I'm starting to think, wait a minute, maybe it's less that, like, okay, I mean, obviously Final Fantasy 15 took fucking 12 fucking thousand years to make or whatever, but like, maybe I think that guy just isn't very good at directing video games.
I don't see, this is the difficult thing, right? Like, you're having the realization right now that I think we're all a little too stubborn to when Final Fantasy VII Remake was fresh.
Yeah.
Because so much of the conversation about whether or not the extended Final Fantasy VII universe is good or not, so much of that discourse is kind of dominated by asserting that the wrong people have complete totality over those games' development.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, fucking these people don't, like, Nomura doesn't write these games.
No.
Like, he writes Kingdom Hearts. Like, you know. So it feels difficult at some points to want to throw blame onto these people.
Right. Yeah.
But also,
yeah,
that's a hell of a track record.
Yeah, that's
that
like,
dude was just stinking up the whole PSP.
I think everything, like, I don't know, like, I don't come away from it thinking that like the compilation of Final Fantasy VII thing, which is over now. People try to count like Remake and stuff into that. I think it's a totally separate project.
Yeah,
like it's like the compilation was a very specific time and place.
Well, aren't they calling it like the Omnibus now? Like, isn't that kind of the distinguisher?
Who goddamn
I don't know.
Yoshinori Kitase,
Yeah, who the fuck
you
knows?
fucking dirty dog. Look at but I think the compilation, I kind of really like it, even though I think a lot of it stinks, probably, because I think people need to become more comfortable with the idea that Final Fantasy owns, even if it's bad. Like, because the thing that attracts me to Final Fantasy, and this has kind of become a little bit of like a stinky little debate on Twitter or whatever, because someone like made some tweet that went around that was like, what's the worst Final Fantasy and why and stuff, and it's like, okay, first, like, my genuine answer to that I didn't make a tweet about because I knew people would be annoying to me about it, is that I think it's a trick question, because I don't play games I don't play games whether or not I don't play games like due to like some like value judgment on whether it's good or bad. I play them because they're interesting, and every Final Fantasy is interesting to me because they all have the most cracked fucking ideas for stories, or they have really cracked ideas for gameplay. And those two things are battling with each other on basically every single installment, spin-off or numbered or otherwise. Like, so I think people, so I think the compilation of Final Fantasy VII is like this weird blessing in disguise, where I feel like for the right people that it's kind of actually for, it's like this weird humbling moment of like, okay, Final Fantasy VII itself is this unassailable masterpiece and is like literally changed everything. But then also we're bringing it down to like stupid level, because there's also the dumbest movie of all time, the dumbest video game of all time, and then the dumbest but like kind of like thematically weirdest game of all time with like Crisis Core. Like, Crisis Core wants to talk about Metal Gear Solid shit. Like, it wants to talk about war criminals and stuff, and it's like, wow, that's so interesting. Especially since like that's what you're pulling out of the world, is like, oh, let's talk about the soldier stuff and how that's like, and how they literally did like so many war crimes on Wutai and like no one talks about it and stuff. And it's like, that's a really interesting looked at part of Final Fantasy VII. Does the game execute well on that? No, absolutely not. But it's interesting that they did it.
Yeah, the compilation is very much so Final Fantasy VII's like sloppy little brother.
Yeah, right.
You know? Like I think it is flashier, it is louder, it is bolder. And that doesn't, like, I think if you can't kind of make your peace with that going into it, then nobody's really forcing you to treat it as canon.
Right. Yeah, like, you could just not. It's totally cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the remake is, like, a similar thing, but it's actually coming at it from a smart place, where it's like, okay, these people have aged 25 years, and somehow they're still at this fucking company. So now we're going to let them revisit the thing, and then kind of like have actual like interesting updates to some of so now like the Wutai thing is much more baked into the plot of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which kind of like could be part of why like Crisis Core matters a little bit more now, but it's like, but either way, it's stupid. Who cares? Like, it's fine. It's comic books. It's comic books. And so like, it's fucking like, it's fucking funny. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm ranting a lot. Fucking Crisis Core I thought was interesting. Even though Aerith deserves much better than that game.
Yeah, so this is my thing, right? Like, I'm staunchly pro Advent Children. I think that movie's a grand time. I think it's a blast. I think it's a lot of fun.
There's like 9 motorcycle chases. How can you not love it?
Yeah. How could you not love it? I think that it is like it is a very cute movie to me, and I say that in a way that is not condescending.
Right.
It's like they're just clearly having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. However, the monkey's paw, curls its finger for me when it comes to Crisis Core.
Yeah.
I also like Dirge. Dirge is a grand old time.
I want to play it. I want to play it. I'm kind of hoping that they do that they do a remake. That they have a fucking Dirge of Cerberus reunion remaster. That'd
amazing.
Be hilarious. I fucking really hope so.
Yeah. But yeah, it gets a little dicey for me when in Crisis Core, like I enjoyed it. I was like, Zach is like a big fucking idiot, and he's like committing these war crimes like it's nothing.
I'm a hero, and it's like fucking blows up entire like village full of children.
But for some reason, my brain forced me to hit the eject button and never go back the second Zach meets Aerith.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this isn't my girl. Like, I actively do not believe that she would fall for a guy like this. Like, everything about how she's written in the original speaks to an amount of emotional intelligence that I think wouldn't necessarily be disarmed by Zach.
Yeah, right.
So, like, something about that just, like, really just caused me to reject the game and call it there. So it's like, I'm generally pretty pro all the dumb stuff that goes on in Final Fantasy games just by virtue of it being more fun to like things than it is to get hung up about them.
Yeah.
But I also have my limits, so I'm sympathetic.
Yeah, I totally get it. I hope at the very least the weird handling of her character makes more sense now that you know that it's coming from the guy that did the third birthday. So, take with that what you will. Or maybe you can think about it like they took a wormhole, right? And then they've just replaced Aerith. Like the same Aerith, like, okay, right. so the Aerith from Final Fantasy VII got taken out from a wormhole, right? And then that's the one that's in Remake. And then the one that they put into Crisis Core is the one from Kingdom Hearts. And then that is
right,
it's just
right,
that Aerith.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that's just the one that falls in love with Zach. So
yeah. And then the timeline corrects itself, but actual Aerith winds up with the experiences and memories of Kingdom Hearts Aerith.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's how we justify it.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
Yeah. She knows who Donald Duck is. so
yeah.
And she wakes up every night screaming because of it. So yeah, I don't know. We should probably,
don't we all?
We should probably answer questions or something, or a couple.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Sounds good. One last thing. Well, actually, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
How long have we been going?
We've been going for like
we have time.
37 minutes. Okay. Yeah.
Really quickly, I want to shout out La Pucelle Tactics.
Oh, yes.
I've been playing it on my PS2, on my CRT. It has been a really good winding down kind of experience. Oh my god, sorry, give me 1 second.
You're good. Get you some water.
Ugh. Yeah. It's really fun and cute. It's a tactics RPG by the Disgaea people. But I think it came out just before Disgaea. It is just a good time all around. It's got like just enough of like an interesting flow between the tactics gameplay, the kind of monster raising and like character equipping and team building, and then like the story, like those kind of weave into each other with like a nice frequency. So it's been a good time. I want to find more time to play it because I think that realistically I could get through it if I just kind of chip away at it each night.
Yeah.
But I've been watching a lot of movies before bed instead of playing games before bed or reading before bed.
I need to watch more movies.
So yeah, you should watch Female Prisoner number 701 Scorpion.
Let's do it.
I watched that shit last night. That shit blew my fucking mind. I'm dying. I'm gonna die. I need to get water. I'll be right back, and then I'll talk about the movie proper.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Ugh. I wish I could think of funny things to say off the bat while Hazel goes away for things like this. Hazel's forced to keep something like this in. But I can never think of funny bits to do.
I debated for a while whether or not to even recommend this on the podcast because, like, look, I'm back on a genre film, an exploitation film kick, and those are difficult to recommend.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't just do it carte blanche, but like, it's the kind of thing where I think there's a kind of loaded element to, even with caveats, recommending certain things.
Yeah.
Like Female Prisoner Number 701 Scorpion is like a very ugly movie. A lot of really horrible and cruel things happened in it.
Yeah.
It's not really like saying it's not for the faint of heart sounds condescending, but just do your research with this sort of thing. But it is a ridiculously beautiful movie. Nikki, I don't know if you saw the screenshots that I posted in our server last night. If not, I'll just repost them to you now.
I actually was just looking at them, so
yeah,
no
the movie is fucking crazy looking.
Yeah.
I went in expecting that it was going to be more of like a tour de force, just from the perspective of its lead actress being really tremendous. But it turns out that like the entire movie is bonkers looking. They really spare no expense in making every shot something that you aren't going to see anywhere else in the movie. Really, really amazing shit, especially for 72.
Yeah, I've had this stuff kind of like I don't know, like probably not, like, it hasn't taken up enough like brain space, I guess, to like be on the list or whatever. So I won't say that, but it's like I've been like privy to it. I think Golok has seen him, or at least the first one.
Yeah, Golok commented on my review.
Yeah, and they seem really sick. So I want to check it out. But
yeah. I was like like, that thing, like I was all but pumping my fist at some of the shit in that movie.
Yeah.
Just really amazing. So if you're a seasoned genre film enjoyer, it is like so Italian. Like, for a Japanese movie, it is more Italian than most Italian exploitation films are.
Fuck yes.
Yeah. Like, it is more Jess Franco and more oh my god, what is the fucking Suspiria? Dario Argento.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was about to say Giallo, but I knew that wasn't Suspiria.
Yeah. I think it definitely slots into Giallo films, like more in tone than in storytelling.
Yeah.
But I know people get really hung up on the definition of Giallo. So
as film people, what, really getting hung up?
I know.
On weird stuff? Yeah.
Can you believe it? Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, more like it's nuts.
Yeah,
what a movie.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. We'll talk about it soon.
It's on Tubi. It's on Tubi. You can watch it for free.
That's how you know it's fucking Kino. Tubi.
Yeah.
Tubi is the shit, man. Like, Tubi is
Tubi is great.
Tubi is fucking awesome. They have fucking like 9 weed leprechaun movies and shit on there, and then like the most amazing movies you've ever seen in your life are on there also.
Yeah. So. The tier list in my mind is like, if it's on Tubi, it's got to be one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
And just the rung immediately below that on the quality tier is you need to go to a physical video rental place to find it. Or like fucking like buy a bootleg on eBay.
Right, yeah.
That's the rung of quality right below.
Yeah. I want to maybe I should start
the
buying
type of shit I've been on.
I kind of want to start buying some like bootleg Blu-rays and
I know,
stuff.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff I could be buying.
Yeah, because it's like no like actual company is going to put out some of these films. They're too horrible for anybody's sensibilities, let alone for their shelves.
Right. Yeah. But not mine. My shelf is
not mine.
My
not
shelf
mine.
is home. Uh, yeah. Fucking yeah. Fucking. We both watched Glass Onion, also.
Yeah.
What a movie!
That was the actual 2022 thing that we missed.
Yeah,
that we meant
yeah. I felt
segue into.
It's all Netflix's fault that it wasn't for consideration.
Yeah.
I mean, it still would have lost to Nope, so it's not like it would have. I think it changed.
Probably would have lost to Drive My Car too.
Yeah. I definitely would have lost to both. It's not like the best movie of the year, right? But
right.
I had such a good time. I liked it. I like Ryan Johnson's plotting. I think he's a genuinely like awesome writer. I think it's just kind of like it feels corny to say like, oh, it's a perfect movie for the times we live in and stuff, but it's like it's a movie that kind of just gets like just how purely stupid and like foolish the times that we're living in are, and particularly the how stupid and foolish the fucking like the most powerful and rich people, the richest people on the planet are in these times. And it pokes a lot of fun at that. It kind of feels like a risky sequel just in terms of scope compared to the last one. The last one feels, I feel like the first Knives Out probably is just like a brass tacks like a better film and stuff, but like I just really like how just like fucking gutsy and kind of gonzo this movie is. It's like not to get into too many spoilers and stuff, but it kind of minimizes the mystery aspect for like in service of like its themes and like and what it wants to say. And I don't know, it's just like cool. It's just kind of it's just a fun pissed off little movie.
I'm here to tell you that it's time for us to break free of our shackles.
Yes.
We need to stop acting like what makes a good mystery is having all of the pieces in place for the viewer to try to solve ahead of the movie.
Yeah.
Who cares? Sure, that can be fun sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't go into a movie trying to fucking crack the code. I go into a movie to have a good time, to be wowed.
I go to a movie.
Just let it wow you. Just let the movie wow you.
Have you ever seen those videos of like people of magicians doing magic like in front of like baboons and stuff, like chimps and stuff?
Yes, yeah.
That's how I want to be at the movie theater. Is like I want to be the baboon behind the glass. Yeah. And then I slap the grounds and go, oh, it's just like whenever something cool happens, I want Ryan Johnson to pull a quarter from behind my ear, and I'm like fucking amazed at what just happened. Yeah. And by God, he always has a fucking quarter, and it's always behind my ear somehow, and I never know about it. So yeah, fun time at the movies. Who gives a shit? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah, I think that what makes that movie funny and interesting to me is like, I feel like there are a lot, like there are a few movies from every decade in film history that act as like such concise kind of send-ups to the moment that they're in.
Yeah.
That if not necessarily feeling timeless, they kind of become timeless in spite of that. And I'm not saying that Glass Onion is necessarily even good enough to hit that, and we'll see how much it feels like it's aged in time.
Yeah.
But like I was really, really skeptical going in about the idea of a movie that was so now or so the last few years, just because like, I don't know, man. We already have to live it.
Shit sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like by the end it kind of sold that and justified itself.
Yeah. I'll be honest on like a particular thing. The opening scene, I honestly was like, I'm not sure about this. Like this.
I was kind of squirming in my chair a little bit.
It felt a little weird to me. Like even just like as like a. Like aside from like the current stuff or whatever, just like as a Ryan Johnson head, it just felt like structurally very strange, and I was like, what I was like, what is this? Like, did he change? Like, oh no, like, and then as soon as the puzzle box gets broken immediately to kind of close out, like the opening scene, you know, there's like that bit where like she has the puzzle box, then walks over and gets a hammer and just breaks the whole thing to pieces.
Yeah.
And stuff. That was like, oh, okay, we're back, baby.
Yeah.
A good movie alert. And then Benoit Blanc's intro fucking made me scream laughing. So, you know,
that was really good. I'm still trying to figure out how Natasha Lyonne knows Benoit Blanc. That stuck with me. Yeah. I literally soy-faced when I saw her.
Yeah. You know like Natasha Lyonne has like a new like Peacock like mini series that's like a mystery thing. And
no, I didn't know that.
She totally does, and Ryan Johnson is writing and directing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, that answers my question.
Yeah. It's like a little like it's like a little like I think it's gonna be like a 6-episode like event TV thing or whatever. It's called Poker Face. So I wonder now like I don't think it's in the same universe or whatever, but it'd be really funny if Natasha Lyonne was like playing herself.
Yeah.
In that, but
I'm really curious how that'll play out, because I feel like that came out like wasn't there a new season of fucking what is it called? The show that she was in a few years ago, Russian Doll. There was like a new season of that, and I didn't hear anything about it.
I heard it's good.
It kind of seemed like it flatlined a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. I liked the first season.
That's the only thing I've heard about Russian Doll just in general. Is just like it's good. I've not seen it though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's that, Pun?
I just wanted to say I could be misremembering actor in that. Brian Johnson was trying to her.
Oh yeah.
And then after a little while of listening patiently, like, just tell me the lines, I trust you.
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny.
Fucking Angela Lansbury and fucking Stephen Sondheim like in probably their last film appearances too, in that little
right.
Scene.
Yeah. How weird.
Yeah, both of them passed away very, very, very recently. So yeah. Fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Anyway, sorry. Like, just that whole scene is fucking insanity to me. Like, I fucking but yeah. So yeah. Wish that movie could have counted in our year-end list. But C'est la vie. That's the fucking.
We'll have a category next year for belated 2022 stuff. I've been keeping a document already.
Yeah.
For safety's sake.
We gotta have a debate on where Shin Ultraman is gonna fit into that, because that's technically a 2022 movie.
It's showing in a week. I consider it a 2023 movie. Fuck, that's the other thing. I've been watching the original Ultraman. Fuck, there's actually more than I thought.
Yeah. Ultraman. I feel like maybe we can talk about that, because we'll have like a whole Ultraman discussion soon, maybe. Because because we're both gonna see that next week.
Yeah, that's
cool.
True. I will probably have finished it by then. So
fucking and Shin Kamen Rider is actually due out in at least Japanese theaters in March. So God. Shin Kamen Rider is right around the corner too. So
fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll have to.
Well,
watch Kamen Rider before then.
Well, we'll see how quick Toei is on the turnaround there, because they can sometimes be quick, and then or they could be like Super Aya with Shin Ultraman and drag ass about it like the entire fucking.
Yeah, I could see them trying to kind of capitalize very quickly on Shin Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
Just to kind of have a quick follow up.
Right.
From Ultraman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ultraman good, of course.
Yeah. Should we finally jump into questions?
We should stop fucking around and get to questions.
Yeah. So Z asks, do you ever worry, or how do you manage spreading yourself too thin between different projects, crafts, hobbies, skill sets, etc., if you love all of them? I think that's a really good question that I don't really know the full answer to.
Me
but
either. I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Yeah.
Like
I think invariably.
Sorry, you go on.
I think invariably certain things are going to speak to you as being of more kind of demanding of your time than others. The more you do them.
Yeah.
But that can be really difficult, especially if you're like me, and sometimes your brain just latches onto certain skill sets or art forms that you want to be focusing on. And I feel like the solution that I found isn't something that you can just, like, it's not really very applicable, because I'm able to say, like, okay, I'm just going to work on music this week.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I really want to work on this video script, even though it's not the next video I'm going to make.
Yeah.
Those are things that I'm able to do because of the nature of my weird job, and that's not necessarily applicable. So it's a little difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard thing. I'm trying to figure it out right now, you know. Explode When Defeated, my nerd podcast that we chill on here all the time, is probably the most demanding, like probably most important thing that I do right now, just because it like actually like makes me money,
right,
to some, you know, minor degree. And we posted new stretch goals on there, by the way, if you wanted to look at that. Some really stupid stuff on there, but like that's like the thing that like I probably like have to focus the most on doing and running and making sure that like there's always something there for people to kind of look at and stuff. Like I feel like whenever I look at other people's Patreons, I actually realize how much more active our Patreon is than a lot of other people's in terms of like how much we post on there. We post a lot of stuff. Like and like it's not like preview stuff either. It's like always like a new full thing that we just did. And
so much value, dear listener. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you like this show and you want to support it, just pledge to the Explode When Defeated Patreon.
Yeah. But I like that. So that's like a big thing I wanted that you know I love doing, and I love doing this show because this show is like it's honestly like pretty different in a lot of ways, and I love focusing on it in its like own, you know, kind of certain way, but it also is this kind of like you know, a thing that goes on like Hazel's page and all you know. I also have my music that I really like doing, and I really don't know like, and I'm trying to figure out how to make time for music as it kind of bubbles up here and there. And then also how to make time for personal writing that I want to do, which is something that I'm going to try and make a goal of taking more seriously this year, because I gained a lot of confidence. This is another thing I did in between the last episode and this one, but I contributed to a newsletter of my by my friend Shy Thompson, who's done a lot of writing for a bunch of different websites and everything, and it's called Once Bitten, Twice Shy, and that newsletter I contributed a year-end, two very specific year-end lists, and then a little bit of writing about the end of the year, and I kind of just like ended up pouring a lot into that, and it came about pretty naturally, as well as some of the backlogged reviews I've been writing, and it's made me realize that I think my short-term writing is actually getting really good, or short-form writing is getting like really strong, and so I think I need to like get on doing more writing and possibly trying to like make that hustle as well, and that is a really big headache for me right now, trying to figure out how to make time for that, how to hustle that while I'm doing this other thing that is also a big hustle on its own.
Right. Yeah. So like, obviously, you know, the subtext to that question is that like invariably you kind of need to gauge what is like I think I didn't quite articulate it very well earlier, but like, there are going to be points where you know which endeavors you kind of need to give your all to.
Yeah.
at least in the short term, you know. I've talked about it before, but when I kind of started up my channel like really seriously, that was an effort that I was making in addition to a lot of other stuff, and that was just the one thing that took off, so I leaned into it.
Right, yeah. We were working on some like pop spirit stuff at that time.
Yeah. We were working on some pop spirit stuff, trying to make that a thing that was lucrative.
Right.
At least something that kind of paid for itself. I was doing a lot of freelance music. I was working like 2 jobs at that time on top of that. And the thing that shook out for me was YouTube. So it was what I focused on. And then, you know, that was kind of the only thing I did creatively for like a year. And then just 2022 kind of allowed me to filter back in some of the other things that I'm passionate about. So I think it's the kind of thing where sometimes absence can make the heart grow fonder. Artistically, like with certain creative endeavors, you know. Like when I think I'm definitely somebody that kind of works in bursts and then needs to recharge.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I try not to beat myself up that like Burned In only writes like a song a year basically, because when that energy does strike, it comes together so perfectly that like it's clearly not an issue of creative friction that's keeping more from happening.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of needing to figure out how and when to divest that energy.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know, it may not seem like useful advice or whatever, but I really feel like it's just kind of one of those things where like your own personal intuition is gonna champion over everything else, just knowing when to pull back, when to kind of shift gears and stuff. And that's kind of the only thing you can listen to, because I feel like a lot of the time it's probably gonna go against the conventional wisdom. Like if you asked like a fucking accountant what you should be focusing on, right? Like if you asked one in like 2020, they'd probably be like, you probably should not do YouTube videos and focus only on that, you know. But it's worked out, you know. Like it's just it's one of those things. It's like hard because like, you know, neither of us are fucking, you know, like experts or anything, but it's just I don't know, it's just one of those things where I guess kind of following your intuition it's just if it feels right. I don't know.
Volial asks, recently I listened to Shibuya Rock Transformed Jotai by Number Girl while in public transit and discovered that album hit even harder when combined with the background noises. Muffled conversations of strangers, including a stressed baby, and rumbles, beeps, and squeaks merged with the guitar riffs and bass, while the train announcer seemed to delineate parts of the songs like a secondary vocalist. Do you have any similar experiences where music was deepened by the background ambiance? Whether it was a sonically unique experience lost to time or more repeatable, replaceable, like Rain.
I've talked about Yukari Telepath on the plane. That's a big
right,
one.
Yeah. And then I think certain records just make sense to listen to on the train.
Yeah.
Like you gotta if you're on the train, you gotta listen to Emperor X.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Emperor X just in general kind of leaves a lot of space in the recording.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have too many examples because it's not something.
Yeah.
I kind of just listen to music at home like a lot, and so I don't listen to too much on the go. Even though I got some cool wireless earbuds. Those are really nice.
Yeah.
But like I brought them out with me yesterday going out, and like I didn't use them at all. So I guess it's just, you know, how I listen to music. But But I also don't have public transport where I am, so that's a little bit harder for me to answer.
That is, yeah.
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 Shouts out to public transportation. It should be a thing everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it really should.
Next question. The person didn't leave a signature or anything,
okay.
so I don't want to just read the name on their email. So I guess it'll be anonymous.
Yeah.
They asked, are there any albums where you were confused or disagreed with the title track that the artist chose to represent the album?
Interesting. I don't know that I've ever had that thought. That's such an interesting thing to
I think there are definitely times where I kind of look at it and I'm like, I like other songs on it more, but I feel like it would feel like a different record if they picked a different title track.
Yeah.
This is proof that I shouldn't just read these questions. When we're on the air for the first
sometimes.
time.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. I really don't have any answers for this, but that is honestly a really interesting thought, and I might come back to this one day and be like, I have some takes on what should have been what.
I know that I generally do prefer when the album title is separate of any of the track names.
That is
but I
true.
wouldn't
That's
say
also
necessarily
a preference
bothers
of mine.
me.
Though I've. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm not a huge title tracks person. I usually like to have the album title be its own thing, and then the tracks be their own thing. They just make up the title, But I do find it a weird, profound, show of confidence whenever a band names a song after the band.
Right.
That is not even that most of the time those are my favorite songs by those bands. It's just that is fucking, I don't know, for some reason that to me that always just comes off as man, that takes nuts to do that. Just to be like this,
especially
this
when
song
it's a few
band.
albums into their career.
Yeah, dude, Maximum the Hormone, fucking their most recent record, which is 10 years old now, but that has a song called Maximum the Hormone on it, and it's damn, that's 20 years into your career. And they did that and stuff, and then I think they released an EP shortly after that has a song called Maximum the Hormone 2 on it. So fuck yeah.
That's so good.
But yeah, God, I wish I had a good answer for this, but I really don't.
Yeah. Let's see.
I wish they gave examples. I would have been interested to hear their examples.
Yeah, I get it though.
Yeah.
Tia asks, I've been catching up on the podcast, and your guys' conversations are really hitting me with the realization that, damn, I don't listen to any new music, especially over the pandemic. I've had my comfort albums on repeat forever. I want to get into new stuff, but can never actually sit down and listen to an album. What's your preferred way to really take in a new album? Lyrics out and listening intently, doing something else? Yeah, the question. Sorry, I got...
Yeah.
I monitor my audio
right.
while we record these, and sometimes the monitoring will just step out of sync.
Oh, and you'll just hear yourself?
Yeah, I'll hear myself delayed enough that it my brain just doesn't compute.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the question. I feel like that's a variation on a question that we get fairly frequently, but that I never mind re-answering because I think it always comes out a little bit different. I kind of again, it's the reason why I go out of my way to listen to more music is because I have a podcast and because I'm a musician who likes to find things that speak to me and inspire me and give me good ideas.
I've kind of just habitually been on the prowl since high school, just finding new stuff. My current mode is that I honestly only on revisits or whenever I'm listening with a friend, that is when I will pull out lyrics. But I actually even though I am a lyricist, I very rarely actually sit down and read them as I listen, especially if it's something new. Honestly, this probably is bad etiquette or whatever, right? So because it probably shows a lack of interest in the music. But whenever I listen to something brand new that I've never heard before in my life, I will usually listen to it while I'm just browsing or reading posts or something, but not doing something that like actually like takes, like I won't read manga while listening to something brand new, but I'll like just just basically fucking like brain thumb like twiddling, like I'll just reading just Twitter and shit and everything, and I'll let the album just kind of rock, and then like not super hard focus on it until it does something that catches my ear, and then I will sit down and go like, okay, well, what was that? And so like I think that's just the way I kind of filter out what's worth the attention and what's not, which sounds really mean, but there's so much fucking music that you kind of have to have a filter somehow.
Yeah, definitely.
So if I listen to an album and it just kind of washes over and I don't really like, nothing really jumped out at me or whatever, I'll just go on to the next thing. I'm not going to sit down and just, go like, wait a minute, I should have given more time to that and stuff. Cause like, it's either it's going to fucking jump and like fucking like yank my ears, or it's not and stuff. And so I don't know. I feel like my fucking like animal brain has a better like instinct of that than I do personally, just off of
definitely
my intentful listening or whatever.
I think that I'm definitely someone who likes to sit down with things that I am already pretty familiar with musically. So I definitely think that I'm kind of stepping out of my comfort zone to even do a podcast that hinges on listening to a bunch of new music.
Yeah.
So I will be honest, there are definitely times where I am doing other things fairly intently and I'm listening to a record for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's bad form, but it's that or I don't listen to it.
Right.
Because I am not going to be able to fit it into my schedule otherwise. So I would say that it's kind of like, I mean, the thing that I think I most often do that helps me is, I have a lot of friends that I'll like pass individual songs back and forth with. And when they send me something, and I like this sample that I hear, I'll just like it or bookmark it or whatever, and then I'll come back to it in full, like the record in full, and see what it's about and if it grabs me. Because I know that there are just certain days where I'm going to want to listen to more new music than others. So I'll just kind of build up like a backlog to get through when that inspiration strikes me.
Yeah. It's just, it's just one of those things where the lucky thing about music, right? And the lucky thing about having this sort of issue where you want to listen to more music but you don't know how, is that it's something that's super malleable and you can just kind of fit it to your schedule whenever. Because it's like songs are only 3 minutes long. You don't exactly have to like, if you have a memory, you don't exactly have to sit down and listen to the whole thing 44 minutes front to back. You can take a break whenever. And I don't know. So, but like, whereas like, if you want to get into more movies or more video games, that is a little bit more of like a hassle, because you actually have to like allot time to like look at and focus on that stuff or whatever, I feel like it takes more brain power to like watch a film and pay attention to a film and like pick up on the film parts of film, the cool, interesting parts, or like with a video game, the video games are kind of variable as well. You can kind of just like only, like, there are a lot of people that only play video games and like that kind of are only cared about, they only really like focus on the aesthetic or story stuff. I used to be like that a whole lot and stuff, but like now I'm starting to become a bit more gameplay brained or whatever, so I start to engage with it a bit more strongly, so I kind of have to like a lot like more time for that personally. But music is kind of an easy one. At least to me, it just comes naturally. It like eventually you kind of form a habit of just finding stuff, you know. Like people make fun of these resources, or like they're kind of bad resources some of the time or whatever, but like I mean, honestly, like just going with like just scrolling through like Rate Your Music's front page, sometimes you'll find something cool if it sounds cool, and then you'll just fucking get into it. Or if you fucking watch Fantano, people make fun of Fantano all the time, but damn it, I think he's useful sometimes. Like sometimes he'll give a good review to something I've never heard of in my life, and then he'll describe it, and I'll be like, oh, that actually sounds like something that might be up my alley, and then I'll actually listen to it and stuff. But if he's giving like a hater review or whatever, like that's useless to me. Like I don't know. Like that doesn't tell me anything about if I'll like it or not. I just know that he hated it. That's all that means. And so it's like those two things, and then like, or you know, or just any music reviewer on YouTube. But let's be honest, it's fucking likely Fantano. And then Spotify's fucking algorithm will fucking set you right sometimes. Like everybody hates to say it, we hate to say it, but the Spotify algo has fucking like thrown some cool shit at me.
Yeah.
So like, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. So I think it's actually very easy to get a music listening habit. Of like hearing new stuff. I think you just kind of have to pull from the right things, I think, and then
I think that it'll kind of depend on your own like sensibilities, because I know for me, when I am doing something that allows like passive engagement in other things, I tend to go toward like, oh, I want to listen to something like informative, like I want to listen to like a podcast about something, or a YouTube video about something, rather than going to music necessarily. So I think music kind of inherently takes up a slightly different space in my brain than that. But the real answer, you know, beyond any of this bullshit we've been talking about, is you just listen to all music at 2 times speed.
Oh God. Just go on youtube.com/NightcoreJones and listen to everything he has on there. Nightcore Jones. Who remixed our podcast from the last episode.
There you go.
Literally gave people like a perfectly listenable alternative to our own podcast. Because I listened to part of that and stuff, and it legit is like just perfectly like, if you just want to listen to that but 2 hours shorter, there you go. Yeah. I sound like a woodland creature, and Hazel sounds like a mean girl from like
you described me as sounding like a 6th grade mean girl, which I think is really funny.
And I sound like a fucking like a beaver, like a
God. Linus asks,
is this Ashton No Bud, Linus?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, they say, this is a bit hard to phrase, but y'all are people who like going through artists' catalogs to find more things to watch and listen to. What's the craziest contrast you've found in your searches between 2 works in a person's career, whether it be in quality, tone, or some other metric? For example, I found Mr. Arashi's Amazing Freak Show, which you probably know either as Midori or Shoujo Tsubaki. I don't know why it has so many different names. An incredibly fucked up 80s OVA because it had the same art director as Cardcaptor Sakura, which I didn't know.
Oh, man.
Seen both, I didn't know that. I feel like this happens a lot with anime, because anime directors and animators and stuff are like so like guns for hire. Sometimes even after they've like really kind of found their niche. Or their like big hit. I was looking at some Gainax staff recently, and I saw that like, I can't even remember who it is, but like I think it was the the character designer for, I think, Kare Kano, the guy who adapted the manga's designs for animation, has just done like random bits of key animation on other shows, like all the way through to today. Oh my god, I'm like losing my voice. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
The I think that tends to be where the biggest discrepancies come in.
Yeah. The really easy boilerplate, like obvious answer to this is George Miller, who's like the Mad Max guy, but then also he directed the 2 Happy Feet movies and Babe, Pig in the City.
Yeah, or like the guy who did Black Christmas going on to do Super Baby Geniuses.
Oh right, yeah. He also did
Christmas Story.
He also did a Christmas Story, which I watched over Christmas. Gotta say, movie kind of sucks. It's I kind of.
It's no Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, no, it definitely not. Kind of has like a little bit of like a conservative stink on it. Not a fan.
Have you gone back to Ghostbusters in the past few years?
I have not, and
It's got the same thing. It's got the same thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the oh God, I'm trying to think of like other like not so obvious things or whatever.
Well, there's Shusuke Kaneko's start in Pink films.
Right.
He did a lot of Pink films. But even then,
that
he's done a lot of like stuff not too dissimilar even now. Like if anything, you kind of look at the Death Note and the Godzilla and Gamera stuff as the exceptions in his career.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of something you also find a lot or whatever. Like I mean, there's we were talking like this kind of goes back into the Ultraman convo. But fucking
Akio Jisoji.
Akio Jisoji directing fucking art porno films and just fucking freak shit, and he looks like just
he literally looks exactly like a guy who directs the movies he directs. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, it's really funny. But then he also directs a bunch of Ultraman, but he also infuses Ultraman with a bunch. I mean, not with porno, but with some of the dark, like kind of like impressionistic, kind of like really just wild stuff that he would like. Oh no, he makes those Ultraman episodes art movies, like by being
definitely.
there. So I don't know. That's kind of like I'm trying to think of like weird like licensed stuff that some cool game dev did.
Right. Yeah.
I'm trying. Like, I mean, I'm thinking of Suda51, but all of his licensed stuff makes complete sense for him. So it's duh, Blood Plus and fucking Samurai Champloo, of course.
God, I forgot he did the Blood Plus game. So crazy.
Yeah. No, he actually counts Blood Plus. There's another game. Probably, I think Blood Plus, Samurai Champloo, and then No More Heroes is like a sort of unofficial trilogy of sword fighting games that he made. Like he kind of lumps those together in his personal assessment of his own career.
That's cool.
Or whatever. This is kind of weird. Gosh. No, there's a lot of really good answers to this, but they're not.
Yeah, definitely.
It's pissing me off. I also feel like this is a very new pick, so this kind of isn't a great pick or whatever, but like if you ever fucking look at Yuto Suzuki's one shot, like that Yuto Suzuki is the guy that draws Sakamoto Days. His first one shot is like insanely bleak and like very violent and stuff. And Sakamoto Days, like whenever you first start reading it, is just like, okay, this is the complete opposite. It's just stupid fat guy kung fu stuff or whatever. But then that's kind of like not an answer anymore, because now the manga has pivoted back and now it's way more like that one shot, and it's fucking awesome. It's kind of the best comic in Jump in some weeks. It's like amazing, but that's not like a super great answer. You know what? Yoshihiro Togashi. I'll throw him out there because because if you ever fucking look at Level E or the tennis manga he did before Yu Yu Hakusho, that shit is fucking wild coming from him. He might get the top spot. Toriyama's one-shot work is also really weird and varied. I mean, Dr. Slump into Dragon Ball is like not super crazy, but then like I don't know, you just like look at some of his like other stuff. I don't know, like that dude has like very varied like background.
I mean, that is also the thing, like most manga artists after like 1995 who debuted after 95 have done porn, and you either just don't know about it or you haven't looked.
Good point. A lot of those guys. It's just like, a manga is also just one of those things where like you're drawing so many one shots that like you kind of just have to have a super varied taste in stuff,
right?
Because like you never know,
you can't just do the same thing.
You never know if the comedy one or the fucking action one or the horror one is gonna pop off. So yeah. Tons of the fucking okay, I've got one last one. The Yakuza guy, Nagoshi. He's also the Super Monkey Ball guy.
That is true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. He's also the Super Monkey Ball guy. And if you ever look at a picture of him from when he was developing Super Monkey Ball, and then you look at him like doing promo,
he went from like
Yakuza
Meek
7.
Nerd to like Giga Chad.
Yeah, it's like hilarious. There's like one very specific comparison that's like him in a black turtleneck and he looks like a Nintendo dev. And then the next picture is him like in a suit with like a tan, and he's like got like 3 like bikini babes around him at E3. It's like perfect comparison shot. But okay. I feel like I have it. I feel like I scrambled in my brain and I finally came out with enough of those.
Yeah. I think that's a grand answer.
Yeah.
Next up is from Saad, who says, it's been a while since I listened to the podcast. I haven't caught up yet, and I won't try for reasons to come. Hope everything is good. I hope you all still take emails and questions and the sort. My question is inspired by the peculiar situation I found myself in, having a big chunk of my teachers travel to Qatar for the World Cup and being stuck with the fact that I have to teach myself most of this semester's curriculum.
What the hell?
And it seems they won't return till the finale because Morocco is actually a good team. WTF, I'm so proud. Anyways, my question is, have you ever found yourself in a situation where you're succeeding so much it's actually causing you problems? Have a good day or night, y'all. P.S. I'm a Moroccan nationalist now. That's such a good email. That's so wild.
Oh my god. The times where fucking you're troubled by your own success.
Right, yeah. Well, let me tell you about a little thing called YouTube comments.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm kidding.
That is actually a really good answer, though.
No. I mean, if anything, it's more the repetitive stress injuries that I've sustained.
Oh, that is definitely the best answer. You got a job where you can watch anime and be on the computer all day for a living.
Yeah.
But now your wrist hurts constantly.
I actually have a really, really funny one that like kind of reads like a Seinfeld plot, but I need to wait until like the statute of limitations are up on it, you know? Like I don't want to roast the person it involves so soon after it happens.
Oh no. Okay. Well, we could.
It's nothing like it's nothing terrible, right? Like it is something that I just kind of find funny, but I also feel a little uncomfortable about the idea of just like openly
just
like laughing at things that like it feels a little gauche to just blast out things that people have commented on my stuff.
Okay.
I might just tell it to you off the record though, so I don't forget because it is very funny.
We'll circle back to that.
My real answer is that I've been doing this for as long as I have, and I still like whenever I am in touch with other creators that I don't just like already know implicitly because they're my friends, I always get confronted with the fact that I still just don't know how to talk to strangers, even though functionally, through one step removed, that is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Like it takes me fucking 20 minutes to write a message sometimes. So maybe that's it. The difficulty that comes with marginal internet success is
yeah,
that I still have to interact with people and not really know how.
My closest thing to an answer, because I'm on the come up, baby, is I like quote retweeted Sakurai's godly fucking setup for reading manga. Which, if that happened, oh my god, if that happened before our fucking podcast, you know that would have ranked up high in goodest thing.
Yeah, goddamn it.
Yeah, that would have been huge. Also, the like popcorn guy, like the guy that like does popcorn so good.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's amazing.
That guy's a hero. He's
yeah.
But I quote retweeted the Sakurai immaculate setup thing, and it got like over 1,000 likes and a bunch of retweets and stuff and everything. And like, I guess I'm not at the point or any like I think eventually some people get to, probably not anymore because Twitter's in different hands now. But like, isn't there like a point where like if you get enough like interactions like that, you can kind of just like filter it or something or whatever?
I think there are a few ways to do that,
to curb it. There might be something I can do, but I kept getting so many notifications that I was like, I want to see my other notifications, please. And it was kind of annoying to have to kind of circle around that and everything. You can disable notifications from people you don't follow. And then that, in conjunction with keeping most of my tweets where you can only reply to them if I follow you, it's the only thing that has continued to make Twitter usable. Yeah. Also, I feel like I'm gonna be running into a troubled by success moment here where I really want to like launch a newsletter and like start writing on it and stuff. And it's gonna be annoying trying to get people that follow me or pay me money in a different way to read that. And then also the weird number of people that follow me on Backlogged. I just checked and I just got a few more. Like, am I Backlogged famous? That doesn't mean anything.
I really like the Backlogged doesn't show you like a follower or following count.
Yeah, it doesn't show me a count, but like I got an achievement on my page, which that's a thing. And it's
so weird. It's so weird.
And I got a badge and it says I gained 100 plus followers and stuff at some point indeterminately. And like I get a lot of likes every time I post a review. And it's like, okay, but how do I translate that into something that actually matters? And I don't know how. So that's gonna be something that will trouble me. is going, please, if you liked the fucking 5 paragraphs I for some reason had inside of myself for Crisis Core, please read this other thing I'm working on that I'm reading Popeye comics for. So please,
I can't wait to see what that is.
But so that's my version of that, I guess. Like, as marginal as that is. But yeah, do you have more questions still?
Oh yeah, we do.
We got
more. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah, this is a great one. Nicky, spelled the other way. They spell it Nikki.
I got that a lot in school, so.
Yeah. You get it a lot in our YouTube comments. I don't know what people are smoking. Like, you can literally just look at the description and see how your name is actually spelled.
Yeah, that's funny.
Hazel has said in multiple patron Q&As that she has little interest in doing a convention panel or anything like that, which I fully understand. But I'm curious what Nicky might bring to the table on this. How would you two go about a Human Insects live tour?
Oh my
Would it
God.
be like America's Greatest Otaku, finding loose tangential noise rock spots in each city? Or would it be more like a Hanatara show, where you drive a bulldozer into the venue?
Oh, I fucking love that, honestly.
Yeah.
We actually were talking, like, this is nothing concrete, obviously, and I don't really want to go on tour with the podcast. That feels weird. But me and Hazel did talk a little bit about the 7-hour odyssey that we went on for the best of. Maybe opening that up into, like, other possibilities to make this shit way more conceptual and weirder and stuff, and, like...
Yeah.
And, like, having what I described as on cinema levels of lore and stuff. Like, I don't know what that looks like, but that's something that we're thinking about. That just think that would be entertaining or whatever. If I ever got the stones to go up to fucking, the Pacific Northwest sometime and chill, we'd probably do something then. But
yeah, definitely.
But I actually, for a minute, whenever I was trying to figure out things I wanted to do, I think this was back whenever I was doing video essays on tokusatsu stuff, with the Exploded and Defeated name. I actually was considering signing up to do panels locally on tokusatsu and being like, kind of informative about that. But also, I think I think I can be decent at being informative, but I think I'm way better at just being an entertaining guy. and having fun taste and stuff. So like and having opinions and stuff. So like so I think a podcast panel thing would be really fun, but I don't know what we do. It probably would have something to do with like regional stuff and just kind of poking fun at things. But yeah, that's really interesting. I think I don't know. I've not thought about this too much, but that's just that is a funny idea to me.
I think that there are a lot of things that you can do in that setting that would be really funny, like either conceptual or just like structural.
Right. Yeah. I have thought like if this were ever like a video podcast.
Yeah.
I've always thought like that a really humorous stream setup would be like to have like, like a talk show desk, right? Like Conan,
right.
And you have like your microphone and stuff, and you're like interviewing a guest and they're in the chair. But in our case, we would have two separate Conan desks, and we would be on either side of the person in the chair, and it'd be like they're on fucking trial, and we're like grilling them, but with our really stupid questions and bits and stuff. So it'd be like Eric Andre if there were two Eric Andres, and if Eric Andre was two gay nerds. so basically nothing like that show at all. But yeah. The idea of doing a Noise Rock Hamilton bit live is honestly maybe
we can't. We have to kill this bit.
No, yeah, that's all.
It slipped out from under us.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that like the idea of doing that live is sickening, because.
Oh my god! Could you imagine if we like if we were two horrifically cruel motherfuckers?
Oh yeah.
And we were like, all right. Anybody who wants to get rated on their Noise Rock to Hamilton friend scale, stand up now.
Yeah. Sit in the chair in between.
How many people can we make cry?
Sit in the chair in between both of our fucking Conan desks, and
I think in truth, I don't know if I could run the risk of there being any audience participation, because it gets weird.
It does,
no matter what, every single time.
It does get weird, and I have a shockingly low tolerance for like 3-hour long questions where someone just sits there and just talks and stuff. Like conventions are cool until they're not, and very often they are not sometimes. So first off, we have to address this. This is our fucking little human insect state of the union moment right here, okay? we have to. I'm putting an end to the Hamilton noise rock meme.
It's gotta die.
I've had it's had its time in the sun. I'm gonna be very real with everybody. None of you understand none of you understand the joke. None of you. It's okay though. It's fine. I just think it's something that makes sense to me, and I think it makes sense to Hazel, but I could never really know in that way that you can never really truly know somebody, right? It makes sense in my fucking brain, but the terminology, and I'll take the L on this. The terminology, it's like Hamilton is just so much more cruel than noise rock. It just is true.
Yeah.
And stuff like we've joked, we've gagged about like, you know, certain like personal friends of mine being Hamiltons and stuff, but like that just feels bad and stuff like after a certain point, like, so yeah, I'm calling a moratorium on it. We're laying it to rest. I can't.
I also feel like when that was coined,
yes,
there was kind of a broader difference, but I feel like the world is trending more toward an equilibrium.
Yeah. I think. I mean, honestly, we might have brought it to the podcast late, like it was already kind of a little old,
right?
By the time it showed up in the podcast, because I've been joking about this for years.
Yeah.
Since like at least 2019, I want to say. But yeah, I feel like we get bits sometimes that show up in the inbox, well-meaning, and I love them all, but like. It'll come up and then there'll just be some sort of small fundamental misunderstanding in it that like, which
I think goes to prove that it's like a bad rhetoric.
It is a bad
rubric.
Yeah. That's why
a bad rubric to have applied en masse. Like, this is something that makes sense within a small group of people.
Yeah. And it's something that like the more that like we got questions back about it, the more I realized like this doesn't even work. It was only funny a little bit, and then now and now it's like a little bit like, no, I'm not gonna say totally unfunny, because I'm not trying to grill you guys, but I'm just I just don't think it works, and I think and I'm taking that on me. That's on me. That like this is my L, that the noise rock Hamilton thing, it's not an equal thing. It doesn't, like, the Hamilton is way too harsh. No one wants to be a Hamilton. Everyone comes to us with a noise rock Hamilton thing thinking that they're a noise rock, and sometimes they're kind of Hamilton about it, and it's like that's,
and you know what, that's okay too.
That's fine. It's just on me because I used the wrong bad term, you know, like that, you know, fucking brings up a fucking musical that literally no one wants to be seen liking and stuff. So it's like, yeah. So it's we're putting
breaking news
it to rest. It's done.
Wander is on my lap right now.
Oh fuck yes.
He is a little pee champ. He's been peeing like a storm.
Yes.
We got him a fountain to go along with his regular water. We are feeding him prescription wet food every day. Yeah. And he is pissing like a storm. Like it's nothing.
Yes, like a racehorse.
Like a racehorse.
No,
it's true.
No more of those crystals.
No more. Well, I'm sure they're still there, but
right.
they've been diluted at least.
It's like that very first Final Fantasy 16 trailer where it's like the Legend of the Crystals has controlled this world for long enough. Yeah, well, the Legend of the Crystals has controlled Wander for long enough.
Yeah,
and now he's broken free of the crystals.
Yeah, he's a lot more like himself, and he's just having a good time.
Round of applause
for baby boy.
I love Wander.
Vana16 wants to know, if you could choose 3 anime movies to see in theaters, which 3 would you choose?
Oh, okay. I
want to see Perfect Blue in the theater again.
Oh man, I want to have a
fucking heart attack.
I kind of want to pick the Perfect Blue rerun again, but
yeah.
You know what? Isn't it fucked up that I have never seen Akira in a fucking theater?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
That has to fucking change.
Yeah.
I need to see
I've
Akira.
also never seen it in the theater.
Yeah, I need to see Akira in a theater and stuff.
Yeah.
There was a local theater that was playing it, but I just didn't get to go. So Akira is one of mine. Honestly, even though it's a 45-minute movie, I think it would be lovely to see Dragon Ball Z like Dead Zone in a theater. Dead Zone fucking rocks. That it's the one where Gohan gets drunk.
It's a good one.
And there's like a whole like musical like sequence in like the middle of the movie where he just gets drunk and he starts seeing like raccoons and stuff and like hangs out with them. It's really stupid. I love that movie. It also has some fucking good fight sakuga. Has some good animation stuff. And even though I kind of lowly ranked it versus Film Red, I would probably pick the Hosoda One Piece movie as well. I'd see Baron Matsuri in theaters.
I think my 3, and this is maybe cheating a little bit, right? Is like, look, I gotta do it. I want to see End of Eva in a theater.
Fuck, no, that's mine. Fuck One Piece. I'm seeing End of Eva. God.
I want to see End of Eva in a theater. Yeah. I want to see a double feature of Kite and Mezzo Forte.
Oh, great, yeah.
A little Yasumi Umetsu double feature.
Double feature.
Yeah, because they're both like 50 minutes each, I think.
Yeah,
roughly.
Aren't they both like horrifically depressing and like in?
Mezzo Forte is pretty upbeat.
Okay.
But they've both got contractually obligated rape scenes. You know. Yeah. What are you gonna do? Yeah. I'd still want to see them in the theater though.
Yeah.
They'd probably have to be censored, but that's a shame. Well, I don't know that's a shame. I don't know that I mean that, but
right.
And then I think my third pick is fuck. I had it and then it slipped out from under me. I got to see Only Yesterday in a theater, and that was very nice. I talked about that.
Yeah.
I've already seen Perfect Blue. Be really cool to just have like a Hiroshi Harada like retrospective, because all of his movies are really short for the most part. It's the guy who directed Midori and The Death Lullaby.
Yeah.
That would be another one where it would be like horribly upsetting to just walk into without knowing what you're getting into. So they'd probably have no reason to do it, but you know.
I saw on Twitter that animation short that Tezuka made, Jumping. I think that'd be wild to see in a theater, because that shit.
I don't think I know that one.
That shit is insanely triggering to like a fear of heights.
Oh,
it's literally like a 4-minute like animation experiment of like a dude jumping, and then he goes really really high, and then like it just keeps going higher and higher and higher and stuff, and then eventually like jumps into like a fucking active war zone and stuff, and it's like it kind of got some weird like implicit commentary in there.
Yeah.
There's an unfortunate racism moment because he like
that. It wouldn't be Tezuka without it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. 1984.
Yeah.
Good God, my guy.
Yeah. The jumps and then like lands, and there's some tribal peoples. Let's just say. So it's. There's an unfortunate, but I think that'd be a wild thing to see on a huge ass screen and just go like, just have the train moment, you know, just screaming.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Man, End of Eva is such a. I don't know why I didn't think about that. That's like just one of the best. Movies ever
feels
made.
so obvious. Like it kind of feels like cheating to say that.
No, but I had the thought recently though, because they just showed 3+1 in theaters in America, and I was seeing people going to that, and I was thinking to myself like, if that was End of Eva,
man,
though,
what if they? Yeah,
that was End of Ava,
I'd
be fucking like there'd be a dust cloud where I am currently at, and then I'd be fucking over there. So good question. I like that. So I'd like you always love to see things you love in new contexts and stuff. So
All right, we got a big one coming in here from Pyrojack. Before I read this, I need to make something clear. None of these things are my opinions. The reason why I prefaced it that way is going to be very, very apparent in just a second.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Have you ever had your enjoyment of something worsened by understanding it better? I had this a number of years ago with Utena.
Oh.
Which was, in a very, very stereotypical way, yes, I know, an important and somewhat formative anime for me. It happened after I found out a phrase repeated in nearly every episode was from German author Hermann Hesse's 1919 novel Demian, leading me to go read that and a number of his other works. Now Utena uses a lot of blatant visual metaphor, which works both as a stylistic thing and as a way to partially abstract some of the heavy topics it covers. And some of that clearly had a goofy Freudian bent to it. Swords versus flowers, the big dick tower the male antagonist lives in. But once I understood how Hesse had represented Jungian concepts in his books, it became clear that a number of characters in Utena were standing in one-to-one for parts of the Jungian psyche, self, shadow, and animus. On the other hand, this gave me a much clearer understanding of what the show was trying to depict, and it allowed me to appreciate the influence of Demian elsewhere, most notably Moto Hagio's works. On the other hand, I felt like the characters now had to be understood as concepts first, people second. More broadly, I felt like I'd solved the show and my interpretation, and narrowed my interpretation of it in the process. Instead of a work with ambiguities I could pull different meanings out of over time, I felt like Ikuhara had told me how I should be reading it, not to mention attached weird baggage that comes with early 20th century psychology. Also, as homoerotic as Demian is, it still feels a bit less gay when the girl you're smooching is an aspect of your unconscious mind. Have you ever had any experiences like this? Are there works you think you'd have enjoyed better without knowing what the author was going for? How easily can you retroactively kill the author? A fantastic question. I have no stakes in Utena, so don't come at me for this.
Yeah.
In the comments.
Yeah.
Don't come for me. I have a few things off the top of my head. Does anything come to you?
I'd like to hear what your examples are and stuff, because I'm trying to think of things for me.
Yeah. Well, first things first, I just gotta say that I absolutely have this anxiety about certain things, and that is why I don't intend on doing certain videos on things I like. Because inherently, there's a part of my brain where making a video on something puts that thing to rest.
Right.
And I kind of have to make peace with
one way or the other. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of have to make peace with saying goodbye to it from that part in my brain that it latches onto and kind of feeds a lot of very warm feelings toward. Once the video's done, it's out there, and I'm not really thinking about it anymore. So there are certain things that I just don't want to make a video on because I want to keep those things to myself. I also think that I don't really... more and more these days, I trend toward just kind of feeling a work's themes more than I feel any need to put them into words or like fully understand them. And I think that is for a number of reasons that I think sound more grandiose than they actually are in reality. So I don't really feel much need to get into it. But yeah, there are definitely just like certain things where I just kind of want to keep it undefined inside of my head. So yeah, that is just kind of a general thing for me. In particular, I think watching The Return, Twin Peaks The Return, made me really dislike a lot about David Lynch.
Yeah.
Not like damagingly so. Like, I still think the original series is great, and I like a lot of his movies, but like that was such an obvious like didactic just like on the nose thing that I just couldn't pull anything from emotionally, and I thought it was just like very boomery in kind of a weird, stupid way. And I think it kind of made a lot about Lynch and his kind of fixation on things like 50s culture read a lot differently to me. Which, you know, like so many like beloved male alters are in actuality just dumb guys who know how to pitch themselves as though they're not.
Right, yeah.
And that's fine,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But I also think that, you know, no matter which way, I am kind of the mindset that if you have to go out of your way to apply a Freudian or Jungian or Lacanian rubric to a piece of art in order to fully wrap your head around it, the work of art is clearly trying to be something that I just don't look for in art.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. And so I kind of try to steer clear of things like that. And when I kind of come across them, and I'm not even saying that's necessarily for sure a thing in Lynch's work.
Right.
Because I know that he's someone who's operating off of feeling. But yeah, whenever I kind of get those whiffs, I kind of disengage from something pretty quickly. Just because I'm not really about it. But yeah, that was one for sure.
That made me think of we're getting the year started off wrong because I'm about to mention band.
God damn it.
But
it's okay.
But I think I used to really, really like Pinkerton, and now I do not like Pinkerton nearly as much.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just because of exactly what you learn about the context around it and about Rivers being kind of just a weird guy. So he's just a real weird guy. That's a super obvious one. But I feel like I should have thrown that one out there a little bit. Yeah, I'm trying to think of more good ones.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there is almost an inverse to this, where I've discovered something that theoretically should have ruined my relationship to it, but then didn't.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing, is that like I actually feel like I very rarely have the moment where I like actually step back from something after I learn something kind of like not even something like cancelable, because that's not really the spirit of the question.
Right.
Because it's more of just like, because the spirit of the question is more of just about readings and about like
right.
Like intent and stuff. So the Weezer thing actually is kind of like a bad example. But L again. but yeah, I have kind of a hard time with this because I don't exactly have this moment too often. I feel like
you know what, the one that I can think of,
have my own relationship with something. What's up?
Right. The one that I can think of that kind of defies that process for me. And mind you, like I don't think that The Return like ruined my opinion of David Lynch's works. I just think it kind of was sort of a clarifying thing for a lot of his proclivities,
right? Yeah.
Right? Mamoru Oshii.
Oh.
Everything that motherfucker says about Ursa Yatsura is like the dumbest fucking like pseudo big brain bullshit. I think he is so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Whenever he talks about that fucking project in particular.
Yeah.
Or just like anytime he tries to talk about women.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like I have this,
but it doesn't stop me because I still love that work so much, and I think that the hand that he had on it prevails in the end.
Yeah. I feel like one of the closest things I have to this is something I was thinking about with I don't think I really care very much what Fujimoto was going for with Fire Punch.
Yeah.
Because, like if you asked him that question, I think it'd probably be an interesting answer, but I don't really care because I have my very particular reading of it that kind of takes a lot of the more unsavory fucking hard to recommend parts of it in mind. about, I think, you know, that manga kind of comes at it with like a lot of empathy for people who are like kind of the first to be like the first on the chopping block to be exploited by doomsday culture and by like end of the world, you know, sort of things. And kind of like it's not really presented this way, but you could look at like the world of Fire Punch as like a sort of active war zone where everybody's like pointing sticks at each other and stuff. And I you know, like whatever Fujimoto's like actual like thing was that he was going for with it, I just don't think I truly care, because I have my way that I ended up looking at it, and I've seen other people look at it different ways, and I don't particularly care about their reads on it either.
Right. So that is the other part too, is that like I'm kind of debating doing a video where one of the cruxes of it is like, there are just certain works where I don't want to fucking hear what anybody else has to say about it.
Yeah.
I just like, there are certain pieces of art where I don't enjoy talking about it, even with people that I like really love.
Right. Yeah.
With like a few small exceptions.
Yeah. So like, yeah, there are just a few like though, like that doesn't apply to Chainsaw Man. I'm very interested in what Fujimoto would have to say about certain things he's doing in Chainsaw Man. But with Fire Punch,
especially because everything he's said about it has inspired a lot of confidence.
Yeah, but like Fire Punches is one of those things. Is like, it's such a messy young piece of work.
Yeah.
That like I just don't care about what he has to say about it, or what anybody does. It's like, so but in terms of like other pieces of art like that, I mean, I guess Dune is another one. Dune is like, I haven't read through the whole thing. I'm trying, guys. but Frank Herbert, that motherfucker is an old ass man, or he was before he died. But he's like, you know, like like there's stuff about him, you know, about like he like disowned his gay son and stuff, and like that whole thing. Dune is just such like it's like a fascinating read and take on like the idea of like a mission of going to a place and like just like obviously exploiting it, but it has stuff to say about it because it's not like a hero story really. It has a lot of fascinating things, but Frank Herbert, like, I don't know, he's just some white guy that wrote this, and like I don't really care about what he thinks he did with it, because I know what I think it is, and what I think it is very interesting. And so I don't know, this is certain things like that. I don't know. I guess this is kind of a question about annoying authors, right? And so because I think Alan Moore is kind of one too. As much as I kind of do like him, he's like one of those guys like you love to hate him, but you know, but like because he's kind of a dickhead like a lot of the time. Hates Grant Morrison, obvious black mark. Come on, what are you doing? And so, but like,
what even is there to hate?
Yeah. There's Alan Moore Grant Morrison beef. It's hilarious. It's very funny, and both of them are weird, like woo woo fucking like magic people too and stuff. So like, there's jokes about them having a wizard war against each other, like for comics as a medium. But they're both very particular, different kinds of woo woo. Like I think Alan Moore is like pagan woo woo, and then like Morrison is more like space age, like fucking, I don't know, like hippie woo woo, but like they're both very woo woo. but Grant Morrison I think is very interesting to listen to and learn from and everything, but like Alan Moore, he has like a few good pieces of writing advice and stuff, but usually most of the time when people interview him, it's like, okay, he's about to say some shit, or they're about to bait him into saying something really, really stupid and stuff. So, I don't know. I guess the answer is a lot of old guys.
Yeah. Like Tomino also comes to mind.
Tomino is really good, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole thing about like Char's counterattack is about like like the need for mothers or whatever, like some weird fucking thing about women and stuff, and it's just like, man, that rules. You are a fucking fucking weirdo and stuff, like, it's just, I don't know, but he kind of puts that into the text as well, though, so he kind of makes it very blatant. But yeah, that's about as good as I'm gonna get with this question, because I really, because like, I just don't know if I have too many relationships with art like that where I actually end up disliking it more, the more that I learn about it.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's like one for sure, but it's not coming to me. But I feel like we've sufficiently answered around it.
Yeah, like we've like, if it existed, it was ejected out of our brains so thoroughly that it's just like, well.
Yeah. Final question comes from someone who also didn't sign it, so I'm going to leave it anonymous.
Right, yeah.
It's fine if you don't.
Yeah.
I know that there are people who just assume that we'll read the name that's attached to the email, but dozens of reasons why I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Nameless Soldier.
Nameless Soldier asks, I'm hosting a screening for my university's anime club, and I'll be playing the first OVA of Butt Attack Punisher Girl Gotemon.
Fuck yes.
I haven't settled on a theme for the night yet, but I'd like it to be something like the bizarre rabbit hole of direct-to-anime VHS, or direct-to-VHS anime, or the NSFW screening. My question is, what other show would you recommend we watch? Tokusatsu's on the table too. I give you the power to subject this academic institution to whatever you desire. My potential expulsion and life are in your hands. It's worth it for the bit. I will say this. The first one is a lot tamer than the second one, so don't double feature it with Gotemon R. That one is just like anime on like nightmare difficulty. It's got all the bad stuff, all the stuff you're not supposed to do. The first one does as well, but not quite to the same degree. So I would say, instead of pairing it with another OVA, you should pair it with, mind you, it is unsubbed, I believe, at least it was when I watched it, the bizarre tokusatsu slapstick comedy Star Virgin.
I have not seen it.
We used a little bit of footage from it in our first set, our first
Goblin Bunker set,
Goblin Bunker set, that is a movie where, like, I don't know that I can say that you should like, the premise is similarly really cracked, and it sounds like it's going to be a lot worse than it is, where in actuality it's kind of weirdly cute and charming. But like, if you were already settled on doing Butt Attack Punisher Girl, which I don't know that you should, but if you're already going to, you might as well throw Star Virgin on the pile.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to second that, because I have way less like experience with like this kind of like the more risque side of these things,
right,
and stuff, outside of like the backgrounds of directors I already really love. So like, I feel like I'm gonna have to second this. The clips we used in our set that are probably the the SFW parts that are really great, though, like really cool looking stuff.
I don't think there's actually anything super not safe for work in that one outside of its premise.
Yeah, it's just
like,
the
I don't
premise
think there's nudity
even. Okay, yeah, that. Oh no, yeah.
I might be wrong. I
think that's.
Don't take my word on it. do your research. Make sure there's a very comprehensive content warning for this showing you're doing.
The concept behind this question is so funny. Just the idea that we're like, just like, they're just gonna leave it up to us, like what happens here. I like, that's so funny and so inadvisable. Please.
Don't,
please, for the love of God, have like, don't just leave it up to us.
I do think it would be nice to do more Twitch streams like I did recently, where I just put on a few OVAs and did a little watch along. I feel like you and I should do that.
I think we should do that. So, like, we've been wanting to do some human insect streams for a while, just to kind of like where I just call in and like we just hang out.
Listen, I gotta keep it real. Food came like 15 minutes ago, and I feel like I'm gonna die if I don't eat.
Oh,
so
no,
I think that's a podcast.
Yeah, no, that...
If you want to reach us, humaninsectspodcast at gmail.com is where you can do that. You know where to find me. There's links to where you can find both of us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thanks so much for listening. Really appreciate it. And have a happy new year, even though you're going to hear this midway through January.
Woo! I think this episode goes live the day we're seeing Shin Ultraman.
Oh, sick. Yeah, fuck yeah. All right, cool. So I'll be inside of a theater. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.